so much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Marie with Modern Day Vet Podcast, where we bridge the gap between military and civilian sector. Today, we have a very, very awesome interview we're going to be conducting today. I'm going to turn it over to her so she could introduce herself, say her name, how we met, and a little bit of a history of how she joined the Navy and why she was in the Navy and all that shit. Okay.
So my name is Alexandra Kemp, and I'm sure you know this already, but I am a little bit of a spaz, so just bear with me. So I was a hospital corpsman in the Navy, and I joined in 2004, and I was stationed all over, and that is actually how you and I met, right? We met in Bahrain, and we were stationed in Bahrain, and that was but I don't remember if we were also at the same duty station together after that. Did you go to North Carolina?
No. After Bahrain, where did I go? I went to X-ray school.
Oh, okay. So don't know why I thought that, but yeah. So before I get into, who I am and why I'm here, I did want to bring mention to the fact that, when you and I knew each other in Bahrain, we were not friends. And I remember always wanting to be your friend, but, circumstances, right? I mean, we had mutual friends, but we just never really interacted. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about the tribe of veterans, right? We call it a tribe or the brotherhood or something like that, right? It really brings you into a different situation where you're like, okay, we've had similar experiences. I knew you, I didn't know you. You were an officer, I was enlisted. It doesn't matter, right? Because we're both here now and we're both part of the civilian culture now. And really it's about veterans coming together to figure it out and to figure out how we can benefit society. And then also how, what organizations are out there to help us be the best that we can be. And it didn't matter that we had, I don't know, you didn't like me. None of that mattered. Right. But now it's like, I feel like
oh gosh. Okay.
Am I wrong?
I kind of had my own circle. I was in my own circle. I was also like 22, 21. Now I'm 32.
I get that.
Yeah. So I had my own little circle of people and I was like with my own people and that's it.
Yeah. It's just a completely different mentality when you're in your 20s and you're worried about so many things that I don't even think twice about now.
So the way we connected was, so we served together and I had posted my reel of my first introduction for the YouTube. So I posted my reel for the first introduction to YouTube and it's like the little catchy one of saying like, hey, I just joined civilian sector or something like that. But I'm back home with my family and I don't even feel like I have my family support. And she actually reached out to me and she told me, she was just like, hey, I actually work with a company that really helps any military personnel that's coming out and that's getting out and really trying to find their purpose. Cause I had a really, really bad time trying to find my purpose. The first year, I would say the first year to the first 2 years, I had a really bad, it was a rough transition. Like it was already rough because I was coming home from my dad passing away. So it was pretty rough. So she reached out and I was like, I really want to interview you because the podcast has given me purpose, but there could be so much people that still do not have a purpose or like are still trying to navigate the waters of civilian life and just really feeling left out when they come out. So I was like, I really have to interview her. And like she said, like we weren't friends or we didn't really speak in Bahrain, but my mentality, like once I came out and it's just like, we're all veterans and I just want to help. Like I'm literally connecting with people I've never spoken to and I just want to help as much as I can with interviews and I don't have the knowledge of everything. So I have to bring people on to share their knowledge and hopefully we can help somebody.
Yeah. And it's like a collective effort, right? I mean, veterans coming together to help each other. It's like, it's such a great thing that I have in my life. And it's because of the path that I kind of took after being medically retired from the Navy. And so I'm just going to backstep a little bit here. So I was medically retired in 2017. So I got out in December and I found out that I had to be out. So I got the, hey, we're retiring you letter in 2016. And so I appealed it. And I went through the appeal process because at that point in time, I didn't want to get out. I had been in 13 years. I was like, I just need to do 7 more. I'm an E6, like it'll be fine. So I appealed it, came back denied. Then I got, I went through the whole VA process that came out, I was happy with the outcome. And so I said, all right, maybe there is something in store for me elsewhere and I can find a new purpose. Right. So I finally find out, hey, in 3 months, you got to be out, like you're done. And so I was like, what do you mean? So I just started rushing. And my family back home in Texas, they were really worried because when I joined the military, I joined to get away from bad situations. Like I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. I was doing the wrong things. I dropped out of college. And so I joined the military to get away from that life. So when they found out I was getting out early, they're like, no, you need to have a plan. So I scrambled and I just started applying to several schools. And I was thinking, okay, I love being in the medical field, but it's also so stressful. And sometimes it's really painful to be dealing with people every day on the days that are usually not their best days, right? It's like these people are in pain. They're coming to the hospital for a reason. They're sick or they're ill. And it's a stressful situation to be in. And so I said, well, okay, I want to be in hospitality and I want to be an event planner. So now I can help people on their best days, right? So I applied to hospitality schools. I thankfully got into, I was accepted to Cornell University.
Okay.
And I went, yeah. And so what led me to Cornell University though was I found out because I got out of the military on a Marine Corps base. They give you much different information than they do on a Navy base. And so I found out about an organization called Warrior Scholar Project. And what Warrior Scholar Project does is they run 1 to 2 week long academic boot camps all across the country at no charge to veterans or service members. And they have humanities programs, STEM programs, and business programs for veterans who maybe want to go that extra step and get into a top tier university, but think, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not smart enough. They give you the skills and the confidence that you need to go to a school like Harvard or Cornell or University of Chicago. I mean, like Yale, you name it, right? And they really had this like transformative experience. I attended the humanities program at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And that 1 week was some of the toughest, but also the most beneficial work I've ever done. Like we sat in writing classes, we had study groups, we learned how to be a student, and not only how to be a student, but how to be better than the other students that we were going to be in school with.
Now, let me cut you off really quick. So is that only available to people that are transitioning out, or is that available also to veterans right now? Like, let's say 2 years down the line, veteran.
Yeah. People who are currently serving active duty, absolutely. You can totally sign up. You can go to their website, www.warriorscholarproject.org. And the only thing that you need is an approved leave chit.
Okay.
And it's really great. And so they are what kind of opened my eyes to what is possible as a veteran out of the military. And, while I was in school, I was part of several veterans organizations that were geared towards building the military veteran population in top tier schools to give us more of a voice in this country, and to give us a platform to be involved in high level decision making and be in, Congress and positions like that. So it was a fantastic experience. And then COVID happened. And so when I graduated, I became a restaurant manager because there were no events happening. And when I tell you that working in a restaurant is more stressful than anything I ever did in the military, I am not kidding. I mean, like, talk about crying in the parking lot to the point where one of the guests that was eating at the restaurant posted a Yelp review like, "This manager is so horrible, her staff is crying in the parking lot." Like, so anyway, so it's not all that bad, right? Like sometimes the grass isn't greener. It's just about how much effort you're going to put into making a challenging situation have a good outcome, right? So finally, events start happening again. I become an event planner. I'm planning events in DC, and it was a really stressful, kind of like daunting job. And I finally got a chance to be an event planner for a gala that was an organization that helped military veterans find a renewed sense of purpose after they got out of the military, or even military family members, like military spouses, right? Because it's very difficult to hold a job while you're a spouse moving all over the place. But so this organization was called Soldiers to Sidelines. I planned their gala and I just fell in love with the team. I fell in love with their mission. It just really made me feel like I was part of a team again, working with them, right? Because I had a hard time feeling like I fit in at the hotel. And finding them was kind of like, oh, that's why I'm at this hotel. So I begged them to take me with them. And now I am the director of member experience for Soldiers to Sidelines. And basically what we do is we provide coaching education and coaching opportunities to military connected individuals, Gold Star families also, but mostly the population we serve is active duty or veterans. And we give veterans already have the tools that they need to be successful as coaches. But we just kind of give that little push, and we focus on high human skills. And high human skills meaning like how to be a good character-based person so that you can coach today's youth who will be tomorrow's leaders, so that you can coach them so you coach the whole person, right? And you help them become great people as well as great athletes. And that's kind of like what's at the forefront of everything that we do.
Now, is there any requirements to be a coach? Is it something that any veteran could kind of just share information? Do you need any, like sports administration background in schooling or anything? How's the process to become a coach?
Yeah. So the process to become a coach differs in every state, right? Because different states have different regulations. But what I know from experience and working with everyone is that anybody can be a coach at the youth level, and anybody can be a volunteer coach. Anybody can coach their kids, right? Parents are always jumping in to help coach their kids' youth teams. And that's how most of our veterans got into this program, was that they had kids 5, 6, 7 years old playing, youth recreation sports. And they were like, I want to pitch in and help. So how do I learn? And that's how they came to us. And so what we do is we have 4-day long virtual seminars. And our next one coming up is the Military Women's Seminar, which is really geared towards, just kind of like leadership, well-being, understanding yourself as a woman, and kind of like, yeah, like sorry, bad explanation.
No, I completely understand what you're trying to say. So you got out in 2017 and you started this job in 2021?
2023. So
Okay.
when you said that it took you a year or two to get your bearings as a civilian, like that is good.
I'm still a shit show. Nothing's changed. I'm still a shit show, but I feel like I'm slowly gaining my purpose and I'm still exploring. So would you feel like you've gained a purpose now that you are within this job?
I would say that first, like working for Warrior Scholar Project and working with them, and what came out of that, the confidence to go to an Ivy League school, like that was huge for me, right? And so I kept trying to find that. I was like, okay, how do I find that feeling again? How do I be part of the veteran community, right? Especially in hospitality and in a like, you're not finding that in a luxury hotel. You're just not. And it is like toxic. And I was just not trying to be there anymore, you know? There's enough of that in the military.
No, definitely.
So,
I completely understand.
So yeah, I do feel like I have a renewed sense of purpose, because now I'm in a position where I'm not only getting to see the transformation that everyone is going through in terms of like getting out of the military and feeling like maybe you don't know where to go, or you don't have a tribe anymore, seeing that renewed sense of purpose really come into people's lives, but I also get to be a part of it. So, the program that I'm developing is a continuing education program that hasn't existed before now. And I have been getting feedback from veterans who go through our seminars and want to continue their coaching journey. I've been getting feedback on them from them, like, okay, what is it that you really want to see? What is it that you really need? What do you think that you would benefit from most in this continuing education program? And I'm building the program off of that. And you know what? A lot of people aren't even coaches. They just love the community and they love the education and the high human skills, character-based information that we have, the presenters that we have. Yeah, it's look, I'm very passionate.
I could tell. So is this nationwide? It's provided nationwide to everyone?
So the beginning is a virtual seminar, and we have them all throughout the year. So every month we have a different seminar with a different focus. We do football, soccer. We have adaptive sports. We have endurance sports. We have power sports performance. We have lacrosse. I mean, look, we have it all. And we have some of the most talented people in those professions coming to speak to us. We also have in-person workshops, coaching workshops that are available to people who have gone through a seminar. So we have an in-person coaching workshop with the New York Jets every year, where we go to their Salute to Service event. And it's just a big production that the Jets put on for us. And it's a fantastic opportunity to come together as a community and just network and have a great time with veterans who have, and people who have the same mentality as you.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. And that's what I really want to enforce, is networking with this podcast and really enforcing that we still have a community. Like now is that I feel like I have more of a sense of community because the YouTube videos have been coming out and stuff. But it's been a long few weeks of just pushing in hard work and doing interviews and stuff. But it feels really good to have this sense of community. And that sounds fucking awesome. Like, I think I'm going to have to look into it. Because I don't know, like the military pushes, I have to do it. Like they pushed volunteer stuff. And like at the time you're kind of annoyed with it. But once you get out, you're like, I miss it. Like I yearn to volunteer and I want to be with the community and I want to do stuff.
Yeah. No. Definitely. That's so true. And it's so true. And I think that anybody who is looking for a new sense of purpose, whether you're still in the military or you're thinking of getting out, starting with one of these virtual seminars with Soldiers to Sidelines is a great way to just kind of learn more about yourself, right? Like the first step to understanding what your purpose is, or even how to find a purpose, is to understand who you are at your core. And if anything, that's what these seminars do. They help you get to that point.
So we're going to just shoot back a little bit. We're going to go in reverse, and we're going to talk a little bit more about your transition. How was your transition? Because you said it was short, and mine was we have a lot of similarities. I was rebellious growing up, so I joined the Navy, and my transition out was extremely quick. Like, my father passed away. I had a year left of the Navy. Stuff got messy. I joined a grieving program. I was able to get out early and get an honorable discharge. So I had to scramble within a month. So how was your transition? Because that was 2017. So how was that transition coming out? Did you have any assistance? Was it easy for you? Like, was it okay? Or was it just rough?
Well, one thing that I will say is that being medically retired, they do kind of handhold, right? So they walk you through the entire process of going through the VA and getting all your appointments and making sure that you have things set up for your disability, and they don't handhold people who are just getting out on their own, but it is a process that they can still do, right? But you just have to be proactive about it. I see a lot of veterans who wait until they've been out for a long time to even start the process. And it's like, no, don't do that. Do it while you're in if you can. But anyway, so yes, my transition was pretty rough because I didn't want to get out. And also, once you do find out that you're getting out, you don't really have support in your command. They're like, oh, that person, we're moving on, right? So as soon as I got out, I moved back to Texas with my parents, and I was living with my parents, and I was going to a community college to get my prerequisites done for Cornell. I was at home for about 6 months, left to go to Cornell, and I'm in school in New York, and my mom passes away, and it was really unexpected. So I totally understand where you're coming from of dealing with that and feeling like you don't have a support system while you're dealing with that, or maybe even just not being able to process having a support system. I mean, it was probably the roughest thing I've ever gone through. But I was still up in New York, and I graduated from Cornell in 2021. So I started there in 2018. And when I graduated in the middle of 2021, it was the height of COVID. And, hotels weren't really open. No one was having events. But there was this one restaurant group that paid their managers a lot.
That's where we go into the restaurant story.
And so I'm thinking, okay, well, this is a lot of money. So a lot of money is good. I'm going to try it. Yeah, it's not good. I mean,
it's not good at all. That's so funny.
It's not good at all. And so, my journey kind of, I bounced around. I was like, okay, can I do this restaurant thing? Cause restaurant, they have the brigade system. So it's kind of like the military, they do hazing.
So I'm back in. We have so much similarities. It's not even funny. I joined the Carpenters Union, and I felt like I was in fucking boot camp again. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you're going to have to go through a hazing process. I'm like, what? Where am I being punked? No.
That is hilarious.
So from there, I'm like, okay.
That is so funny.
From there, I'm like, you know what? I actually want to be a chef. So okay. I left restaurants. I moved to Poughkeepsie, and I started going to school at the Culinary Institute.
Because it's like 20 minutes for me, 25 minutes.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Yeah. See, when I saw Hudson Valley, I was like, she's right by me.
Yeah. We're in Newburgh, so Poughkeepsie's right there.
So I start going to the Culinary Institute, and you know what was so great about the Culinary Institute? Veteran community. I mean, there are so many veterans there. It was not hard for me to find a community in school.
That's crazy. In Poughkeepsie?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we had like 200 people just in our veterans group chat that we had on our phones, like through WhatsApp.
That is awesome. That is really awesome.
Yeah. So it was really great. But then like 4 months into it, I decided I didn't actually want to be a chef.
I think we all go through it though. We all go through it. Like the amount of certifications I have is insane. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's still a process. I've noticed that everybody goes through it.
Right. And you know what? It takes as long as it takes. And it's just as long as you know that and you just keep pushing and keep moving and, bring the right people into your circle. And if you don't have the right people in your circle, find them, find people who are going to lift you up. And that's kind of, I've taken a weird path, but yeah.
No, you'll be surprised. Like you feel like it's a weird path, but the more people I speak to, it's the same thing. Like we're trying to find out what we want to do. And I think we're more open to experiencing different things because you're in the military. And if you're stuck with a job that you don't like, you're stuck with a job that you don't like. So I'm trying to be very strict on if I don't like something, I'm leaving. That's it. I'm leaving. I'm not staying.
And that is exactly how I feel. And it's so true. Like I watch people hate their jobs and just being stuck. And I'm like, sayonara. I did this for way too long. I am not, nope. I have a choice now. Nope. Literally. So that is kind of, I still always had this burning desire to be an event planner. So when I left culinary school, I was accepted into Marriott's leadership program. And from there, I became an event planner. And I did it for 1 year only to realize this is actually not what I want. What I want to do is help veterans. And I want to give back, right? Because the military did so much for me on so many different levels. I mean, I could have ended up dead or in jail, right? And that's probably where I should have ended up, or let's not say should have, but like
let's not say should have. Right? Let's use a different word.
That probably is where I would have ended up if I didn't take action, or if my dad didn't kick me out and then say, you're joining the military or we're locking the doors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
So I felt like this really burning kind of sense of purpose to give back to veterans who may be unsure about what they want to do or unsure if they can take that step to get out, or and just kind of being there to help.
That's awesome. I want to thank you so much for coming to the podcast today. Text me. We need to have some coffee or dinner or something. That sounds, I can't believe you're here. I didn't know you were here. I thought you were like in a whole different state. Yeah, we could do like another face-to-face episode. I didn't know you were so close. But
that would be fantastic. Look, I'd love to connect. I think it's great. I'm really glad that we did. And I thank you so much for having me on.
That's awesome. So thank you guys. Huh?
She didn't hear me.
Oh, he said that would be awesome. She's been trying to be your friend for years. That's not true.
That's so true. I used to ask Tiara all the time, like, why doesn't Casado like me? How do I get her to like me? She's like, Alex, she doesn't not like you.
I was just mean. I was very stern and mean. Like I was like, don't even look at me. But
I was like afraid to walk into your if I had to go in there, I was like,
can I talk to you?
3 when I'm like an E5, like
That was just my personality. That's just my personality. But thank you so much for joining the podcast. Guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Please go to those websites that she mentioned previously. I'm going to check myself. It sounds like amazing information. Please share with anybody that you think that might benefit from this information. Like, subscribe, and you guys have a great evening.